the North Cat, baby, I'm a boss. Carolina barbecue sauce with the slaw. I'm the safe, the cellar, and the vault. I'm the best, the effect, and the cause. I'm the law.
Using all the different parts of the buildings. We saw FaZe trying to use that little bit of a lip to make the push back up, and that's what you got to do whenever you play on Miramar. But here we go. We're moving into our last round of the day. It's gonna be Miramar, and we're headed up. Plane path's gonna start right over Puerto Paraiso and gonna end up right over there next to actually Trailer Park we were talking about beforehand.
It's time to get on it. Last game of the day. You want to carry over into tomorrow with some momentum. So a big round here for a lot of these teams. I've really got my eyes on teams like Tempo Storm and especially WClick and GEX. They are the sole survivors from their regions to make it to the finals. They're the bottom two teams. They really need to start turning it around here.
This is whenever some of these teams might start playing a little bit more dangerous, trying to go for early aggression. They've seen it be rewarded. Some of these teams, that's their whole style to play, and they're constantly watching this going, okay, maybe it's time to stop playing for the position. Let's just play for a fight. See if we can just win it, get a couple of points based off of that. But really, it's just about separation right now. Can some of these teams get the control points that they want?
But there's already a lot of teams in that area, 4AM being one of them.
Map knowledge is about to become so key. You know the harder parts of the circle where you don't get a lot of love on a regular basis. And yes, this is
that's on fire.
Hazardous. This is a hazardous rotation coming through. I like jump out. It's like, okay, ZGG, you have a new job. Just drive into them and explode.
What
looks
in
like
the world is he doing? That could be a really good grenade from Helen. It just comes up to the right of ZGG. Look at this 4AM team. No fear. That Murado was on fire. A decent amount of damage put into it, and that would have blown up. Helen now finds himself on the right-hand flank for T1. It's just him and Adder left.
This is such a dangerous peek. As he looks around the corner, he gets instantly dropped off of this. This is the way 4 Angry Men love to play. Just walk up, throw you off your game, try to react off of it, and then they just run down on you and murder you. You can see T1's Adder is just trying to get away, trying to find some cover, get away from these evil demons that are chasing him down right now.
Yeah, he even took some damage from Sungjong there, and it will be Zanpa who finds him. There's a ton of teams in that area. T1 will go down as the first team in this round.
I love to watch 4AM and the way they play. They are just so powerful as they move through different parts of the map.
They're incredible. Their just fearlessness is something to behold. You don't see many teams that'll get in a flaming Murado and make a push onto another team.
They just have so much harassment capabilities. At any given time, they just move up, no fear, because they know they can take every single fight that's in front of them. Lazarus kind of on the flip side of that. They have a lot of aggression, but it's always controlled. It's always planned. Trying to calculate that next move, trying to find that vulnerability inside of it. And I think that's one of the reasons we see these two teams kind of scrap it up so much. It's just a conflux of different play styles just coming together. And oh, yeah, give me that shot again, please. Just look back over towards it. When's it going to connect with it? Look back up the hillside, and yeah, just tap it right in there. God,
oh,
so good.
My goodness, back-to-back headshots. That is masterful shooting there. Wow, forever.
Rumbler's doing Rumbler things. It looks like they decided that they wanted the trailer park, and they've made a wreckage of vehicles around them as rotations are trying to come through. And it looks like QM is actually the ones that are suffering off of this, but Rumbler's sitting at 2 kills right now. Just going to go ahead and rotate back down, meet up with the rest of their teams, and kind of get a little bit more control on this angle as, oh man, QM, this is just not a good place to be as there are 3 different teams taking pot shots back over towards you.
Yeah, GYY in a lot of trouble. Now you've got Lazarus in a duel with Tempo Storm. Sharp shot is knocked here by Luke, but they are in a compound, so we'll see if he can get that. Actually, the circle is closed in on him, so actually Luke is dead to rights here.
Right, so now where's the next circle going to take us? And it's going to go back over towards Force. A couple of shots now coming back over towards us. You can see 4 Angry Men still looking back over towards Lazarus. They're on the edge of the circle, nowhere near the next safe zone. These guys know that they're going to have to fight to get out of this position. 4 Angry Men trying to find that high ground spot. You can see Forever just trying to find the peak angle for it. But slowly and steadily, Lazarus is trying to creep up this hillside, trying to find some vulnerable point that they can push through.
All right, Lazarus is downhill from 4AM. That is a steep one to climb, and they've got shots from the members of Tempo Storm coming into their backs as well. So a rock and a hard place here for Lazarus. Zhao Lu looking over. Some grenades coming through. Purdy Curdy is knocked here. Grenades are coming up. Uncivil trying to get something going. Luke is up here, but he is hurt. He's going to get knocked as well by Forever. The gatekeep by 4AM is strong. Uncivil gets knocked as well.
Tempo Storm's coming up back behind this. They want a part of it, and suddenly 4M spins back around and says, no, this is just more kills coming over our direction. They do have Wayless down right now, but they have so much control over this territory.
It is just Alo left for Lazarus, trying to find some way to work along the side of his blue. He pre-fires over there. There's nobody over there for 4AM. They're going to find him. Now, Wayless does accidentally catch Forever with that Groza on accident, and he is going to go down because we're phase 4. You can't res in that blue.
They can't go for the res. It feels like the only person that can kill 4 angry men right now is 4 angry men, as that was just, there was so much happening off the side of that, and they were fighting everything that moved around it. So we got Tempo Storm, and says, okay, we don't have anything to do with that. They're in rotation, but there's a lot of people coming up back behind them, as well as VC inside of vehicles. A lot of peaks coming off of it. There's so many shots coming down. They're losing tires. Vehicles exploding, rolling out, and that's going to be Tempo Storm eliminated in 12.
2 big pickups there for Nerf and Genesis. They need some points as well. Looking to see if they could have another strong finish on Miramar. We saw them do it once in this tournament where they won the final game of the day. Can they repeat that performance?
Tempo Storm getting eliminated out there is going to open up a lot of movement for VC now, as they had to contend off on that angle. So now a lot of these teams that are kind of already posted up starting to realize, okay, how do we make these pushes back over towards it? Gen G looking back down towards Rumblers right now. We already have one of their members down. It's like Loki's thinking about pushing back over towards us. Los was kind of separated out to the side of this. I don't think he's going to have the cleanest angle back over towards where Cherry Poppins is at, but could spot him out in this rotation, and no, narrowly misses that.
Yeah, Gen G lost Pio. It looks like he might have got knocked and had a cooked grenade in his hand because he took himself out with that. So Gen G seeing if there is opportunity to catch some Rumblers out in the open. Taming does find Waldo. The nice spray from the N4. Here come the grenades up and over. Loki is your point man for Gen G. Seeing if they can find this knock and get the flush. That is going to back Cherry Poppins off, and he gets some damage, but he's going to back Esther off with some shots of his own.
Takes a lot of damage, though, when he's just trying to hide this out, trying to get a little bit more meds off. Meanwhile, the push is coming around. Los is trying to feed information while he's down. Loki's going to make the push over towards this. Is the spray going to come through? And nope, that's going to be the Rumblers going down in 10th. Gen G now up to 3 kills.
All right, this is a gut check moment for Gen G. You lost your superstar in Pio. He has showed up big here for them today. Can the surviving 3 members get it done? Taming has had a great day for himself as well. He had over 8 kills the last time I saw. We'll see if they can get some more, as Navi is putting the hurt onto 4AM and Wayless. They want to blockade this Chinese team.
We talk about all these rotations and different angles and the way people play, and then there's 4AM that's just walking into the circle and just taking every single fight that they can find. Up in front of them, it's going to have Navi. Right next to Navi is going to be TSM, but back behind this, GEX might make a push along a similar path for it. So now 4AM finding themselves on the outside of this, going to have to fight their way through several teams to make it to this next safe zone.
Yeah, this could be a hill too far to climb for 4AM. This one looks a little bit more difficult for them. VC has 2 members up there on the backside of Gen G there. Here come the shots from 4AM, putting some damage into a doozy. Grenades coming out. That is going to back off Wayless, but now it is just him left.
Now walking back over towards Sydney, does get him down. Going to continue around on this, wants to go for another point, but realizes, okay, let's go ahead, show a little bit control, try to find the angle, see how Navi reacts to this, see if he maybe can step up back over towards it. He's got the tools to work with. Remember, we did see them get that crate earlier. Now, Navi's trying to figure out, okay, where's the aggression coming from? Where are we going to see the push happen at? And this is distracting them quite a bit. There's TSM on the outside, and it's TSM now taking the shots back over towards GEX. See their vehicle rolling off into the distance. Leo's trying to make it away, but that's 2 members down for GEX right now. Just 1 up, I think, on the outside of this.
All right, that will be 2 down confirmed. TSM is also getting in on the fight with Navi. Gustav gets a doozy over there, so really nicely done by TSM holding down this compound. Here come the grenades. Now that one just a bit too far. A doozy is still alive for now. Another one coming up and over for Gustav. That one also bounces just a bit too far.
Meanwhile, we did see that GX does get eliminated off of it. Wayless is looking back over towards TSM now. A little bit of shots go back and forth between them. I mean, the push coming out from VC right back up behind Gen G right now. I don't think that Taman knows that this is here. He's looking back on the other side of the shots that come out from Domu. That's one that's down and flush. Taman's got to be so cautious off of this. Instead, turns it back around, goes for the shots onto it, but he's very vulnerable from the backside of this. There's another team that could have an angle for it.
Yeah, if somebody sees him, and in fact, you can see a lot of people are shooting at Taman right now. He is out in the open, trying to find any cover he can. Now, VC did have to back off a little bit. They're going to start pushing up and over this hill. Taming, is he going to get that heal off? Yes, the smoke is there to block the view from members of VC.
There's just nowhere to go right now, and you can see it's starting to get really messy as Navi's finding themselves still with just 1 up right now. Wayless does go down. That's going to be 4 angry men going out in 8th. Grenades are raining down next to Navi's sole member up that's just trying to crawl towards safety. TSM is just holding the line up on top of him, and it's just making a mini red zone off on that angle.
And this is the TSM that we saw in the semis. A great grenade from Iroh is going to find Bestalach, and Navi is down in 7th.
TSM sitting at 7 kills now. VC looking back over towards Gen G, trying to find some type of path, some type of angle off of it. Everybody's playing back over towards the edge, except for, looks like we've got Genesis posted up as well as Ace, and the circle is going to move back over, favor Genesis, so it's going to be a lot of these teams playing off on the edge. Now have to figure out, how do they make their way into the new zone? What's the safest angle? And where do we have teams hiding, as there's so many people split out hiding in just little dips right now?
An important moment for Ace. Can they gatekeep the southern part of this circle? They have a very difficult team behind them, being FaZe Clan. Gustav gets some damage taken from K-Mine there. That's going to back him off some other members. He's going to be using that first aid kit. Genesis pretty well clumped up in there, so if a good grenade could come through, you might be able to bust them up a little bit.
So Genesis has control over the complex that's inside the safe zone, but TSM is really eyeing it. If we see a grenade hit through one of those windows, maybe just a nice shot, that might be the opening where we see TSM get a little bit more aggressive with it. Meanwhile, this peak battle still going on between Gen G, and it's going to be VC on the other side of it. It looks like VC starting to find themselves in a negative position. Loki takes a lot of damage, moves back over towards the rock that everybody seems just to be hiding around right now, and VC is just trying to retreat away from this.
Oh, that grenade just bounces too far over Loki's head. Loki's going to continue to heal up. Let's keep in mind that Tide does have that AWM in his hands. I want to see if he can get anything going with that. Now Alfaka looking over to Loki and Taemin as well. So Gen G trying to find some way into this circle. There isn't a lot of space for them to work with.
Now they're walking back down along Ace's sight lines. They still have about another 150 meters to go. VC is separated out, made their way back over towards the north, overseeing what's going on with this TSM and Genesis fight right now, as it looks like TSM is starting to get more and more control over that area, turning up everything for TSM right now, as I believe there's just one member up and alive for Genesis off on this, but it's going to be FaZe that takes a shot from back behind TSM.
FaZe made a huge rotation over to the east, and now they're catching both of these teams off guard. A lot of damage being done. Fantastic movement here by FaZe to catch the backside and finish off TSM.
TSM goes down in 5th with 10 kills right now, but you can see FaZe is starting to be on the hunt. Push back down on this angle. There is a ton of utility. You can grab anything you want. There's so many crates right off in that position. Meanwhile, Gen G still alive, slowly creeping up right next to where Ace is at. You can see Joy is down. Ace is only sitting at 2 kills at this point, but somehow Gen G just keeps creeping up right next to them.
Wow, Taemin is going to get another knock, so that's 2 knocked here for Entis Ace. He doesn't have a lot of health, and a good grenade from Rang is going to back him up and sit him down. Here comes Entis Ace looking up and over. Loki now the only one standing for Gen G, but there's only 4 teams left, so at least a 4th place finish for them.
Ace is separated out. They have 2 members out in different points. Looks like they might be thinking about going for the res back over towards Joy. With this reposition, you can see that Mickey fairly close towards the center of the circle. FaZe has complete control over the eastern part. New circle's going to pop. It is going to favor FaZe's position right now. VC in their rotation does manage to have a little bit of a foothold inside the safe zone, but really, it's about how are we going to see Gen G and Ace reposition into what could be a very dangerous position for both of these teams.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to stay below this hill. You can see Mickey looked up there, saw FaZe, and knew that he doesn't have a great angle. He's already in the circle at least. He's got to be careful of VC, but it looks like for now it's going to be FaZe and VC trading some shots while Loki just tries to wait this one out until Joy gets in a vehicle, gets some damage onto him. 8C now looking over at some nice shooting with the mini is going to find DJ Boy.
You can see FaZe is starting to get a lot of control over their sight lines. Mickey went down inside of this. Loki is just playing in a dip right now, praying the fact that Ace doesn't push along this line. He still needs to make a way back over towards safe zone, trying to get the spray back over towards Ace. A couple of shots are going to connect, but it's going to be retaliation shots coming out from Rang on the other side. They left him behind to try to provide a little bit more cover for the teammates. So I love the position coming out of it. They're in a very weak position, but now nobody can protect Rang, and he doesn't need it as he manages to make his way over.
Loki is being such a thorn in the side of Entis Ace right now. Mickey is still down. The smokes are coming out as they want to get their fallen teammate back up and running for them. Loki is going to use his bandages. He only has 1 first aid kit left as well. No body armor and a beat up helmets. So somebody gets a few shots into him. He's trying to find something, but it is going to be Mexi from FaZe that finishes him off. 8 kills so far for FaZe.
FaZe has control of the sight lines right now. They can kind of dictate how everything moves inside of this, but they have to be very, very cautious as they make these pushes on the side of it. If they go down in a very awkward position, that could open the door for these other teams. You can see Ace still just trying to use that little bit of a dip, try to move through this, try to break sightline away from FaZe, but that could open the door back up behind them for either grenades or VC to take the shots. The grenades are going to end up just a little bit too short.
They're just impacting right front, but that one is good. 8Z is going to find both members of Entis Ace.
Now up to 10 kills. FaZe is making their way down the hillside. You can see shots come back over towards VC. Tide has to drop to his belly. Uba is just running across a field without any cover. No fear in the world. He knows his teammates are going to protect him, and they want control over this game, and they know exactly where VC is at.
All right, can Tide provide a miracle here with that AWM? He's got Domu as well for support, but the grenades are raiding in. FaZe has a ton of utility. Domu is down. It is just Tide left here.
This is FaZe just running right up into the face of VC and taking this game away. 12 kills coming up for FaZe.
FaZe clan showing up huge here in the end. They find ways to get it done. It looked dire once again for them to start, and they find some magic here at the end. Somehow, some way, these last games are just incredible from them.
Everybody was curious. Okay, FaZe, you made it in the very last second off of a huge game. Can you bring that in? There's only 2 days of play, and we're starting to see, I wouldn't say consistency yet form from them, but they're starting to have much more standout games to balance out their bad ones.
A second place and a first place finish. They're going to have a ton of momentum going into what day is tomorrow, Matchroom? Sunday.
Oh, is it FaZe Sunday?
Might
be. Or is it gonna be Korean Final Sunday? That feels like the difference is coming up right now.